Hey, what's up, guys? Man, it's my time of year. It's getting cold outside in the mornings, and yep, time to get some work done outside. So I know you hear it in the background, but we got Krystal out here. She's been running for about 45 minutes. Just getting that thing warmed up. We're going to see a little bit of a drip down there. Doesn't look like anything too awful bad. And well, that sort of thing can be expected. She's been sitting out here for, well, a few months, neglected. And anyhow, what we're going to do, today is we're going to get that truck up to the shop. There's a crack in the floor under the heat and AC box, and so we're going to weld that crack up. We're going to install that heater box that Shoreline rebuilt for me, and then this little girl is going to get a headlight stuffed in it and head out to the ranch. We also got to do some stuff to Charlie Bucket, and we got some news on X that we got to share with you guys, and a lot of stuff going on. So let's jump up in that thing. Let's bring it up to the shop. It's hard to be the cameraman and the truck driver sometimes. We don't have a good mount in this truck, so I'm holding it in my hand, trying to, drive and shift and cameraman and all that at the same time. This truck has no turning radius at all. So we got to kind of stage. Yeah, so you know, cab over life. Thing got up to about 140 degrees in an hour. It's charging good. It's got good oil pressure, about 50 psi at idle. Yeah, it's a pretty good old truck. Needs a little bit of work. I'd like to get the steering wheel changed. Chad Keegan gave me a new steering wheel. I'm thinking about popping this one apart and sticking that new wheel on here. And yeah, it's a pretty good old truck though. As you see around in there, you know, she's BIT interior. A little dark back there, but you get the idea. You know, the interior's in pretty good shape. It doesn't really smell as bad as it used to. You know, we had this truck was sitting for a couple years without an engine in it, and you know, hole in the floor big enough for animals to get in and out of. So we were getting, you know, we had a kitten factory up in this thing, so it smelled pretty heavy. I had these kids come and clean it a few times, and well, they did a pretty good job, but it still kind of smelled a little heavy. Now it doesn't smell bad at all, so that's a good thing. We'll get her shut off. This old 3406E 5EK 475, she runs pretty good. It makes no noticeable horsepower in low range without a load on, which is standard. And then once this thing goes into high range, she starts moving some air. Turbo starts making some boost, and you know, the thing starts eating. I can never get that rubber on that. Where they put this battery box versus where the rubber handle is, pretty dang annoying if you'd ask me, you know. There we go. All right. Get you back out here so you can get a little look-see. This is a pretty respectable looking truck. It runs really good. I do want to wash it, so we may do that today too. I love the patina on the frame. I love where I put some primer on it. I like where I put some primer on it and it rusted through it a little bit. Somebody else had primered here for some reason and rusted a little bit through there. This frame has no pitting at all. It has surface rust only, and I do need to put a new seal in that shifter because that thing peters all over the trans. But this is a really good frame. Spring ride, you know, so it's not the most lush and smooth ride, but it's not too bad. We need to exercise this thing. I need to get a whip on here and get some air lines plumbed up, and you know, get this thing to where I can haul a trailer. Because once I take Marla down, this will be my only trailer hauling rig. And whoops. Oh, I can turn it around that way. Yeah, I don't know how. Somehow you can center this thing. If it gets off crazy, you can. Oh. Oh, I didn't know that. Oh, that's cool. All right. So now when this thing gets all out of whack like that, I can just click it and it'll come back to me. That's awesome. Well, it's cool. You learn something new every day. But anyways, guys, let me show you the front of this thing. You know, we changed out this headlight panel because the other one was all busted up. And this one's in good shape and it's in primer. And so we stuck it together. And we need to get a headlight in there because it looks kind of funny without one. Get a headlight in there and get it wired up. But first things first, I'll show you what's going on in the floorboard up here. First, we got our anti-kitten farm plug in the floor, but we got a little fracture in this right here. So I think what we'll do is we'll clean that all up and maybe weld in a piece. This part of the floor is busted right here, so we'll have to get a look at how we're going to fix that. Maybe we'll clean it up and throw some weld on there, or we might just plate it. I'm not really 100% sure what I want to do with that, but I think we'll make a cut along that line and put a new piece of angle in and maybe rivet it to the floor, and we'll fix this crack, this split right here. Let me see if I can get you a little better look. See, it's split right here. We'll fix that. Maybe we'll plate it, put a double around this whole thing if I have enough materials, and then we'll get that heater box back in there and get this thing plumbed up. You know, might need some heat in that unit when we're moving stuff to the ranch. But let me figure out what we're going to do exactly. We'll get the shop opened up and I'll bring it back. All right, so what I think I'm going to do is, you see, this is just a piece of aluminum angle right here, and obviously when it cracked, it busted, you know, the vibration busted all out of there. So I think what I'll do is I'll come in with the cutoff wheel and I'll trim this off here and I'll trim it off here and flush it out. And then I'm going to take these rivets and knock them out. And then I'm going to take a new piece. First I'll clean this up and weld it. You know, bring this up where it's supposed to be, and I'll weld that up, and then I'll grind it flat. And then I'll take another piece of aluminum angle and I'll fill that space and I'll bolt it down, and then I'll pull it in. I'll use some panel bond, and I'll panel bond it to the ground here, and then I'll bolt it in. I'll panel bond this back here, and then I'll re-drill these holes and use huck bolts. I think huck bolts will be fine. They'll stick out a little bit, but we'll use some hooks in there. I hope that's a good idea. I believe that heater box won't interfere with anything, because if it was going to, it would interfere with this piece. You know, those hooks will stick out about 1/4 of an inch, but this sticks out an inch. So I'm guessing that we won't have any interference. And actually, this piece right here should have been this stuff. I'm not really sure why it's not. Maybe there was something that happened here and this was an afterthought, but this material is not strong enough for that. It should be steel, actually, but then you'll have some corrosion happening there, which probably isn't good. But let's do that first. We'll take and cut this off, and we'll cut this off, and we'll cut this off, and then we'll get that out of there, and we'll clean this up, and we'll get this, you know, firmed up to where it's supposed to be, and we'll run the bead of weld in there, and then we'll clean this whole thing up. We'll probably patch these holes. We'll put a aluminum plate on the bottom, and then we'll weld it shut, and we'll drill through both of those on both sides, so that bolt area is cleaned up. But yeah, it's not gonna be bad. We'll get after it. That's gonna be a tough place to get it off of there. We'll have to get a little pry unit and see what's going on. basically what I'm trying to do is just get that to break there, and if we have to, we can use the file belt sander and sand through it, but it's messy and time consuming, so we're going to just grab this stuff and we're going to try and peel it back, you know, try and peel it back. I wish I had a really small cutoff wheel, you know. I could really use one, but I don't have one. Okay. That gets us a lot closer. We need better tool than this one for that particular job. We'll bring you right back. We got that squared off there. It's pretty nice. We got this cleaned up, and this cleaned up, and this cleaned up. And what we're going to do now is we're going to find the right piece for here. And we're going to get a look at it, see what our options are. But I think what we're going to do is we'll end up taking these rivets out, and then we'll coat this up real good with panel bond, and then we'll snatch this in with hooks, and then we'll tap this bottom bracket in. We'll put a pin in here, tap the bottom bracket in here, we'll drill it, we'll squeeze it in, we'll drill it, and we'll hook these two down, and those will be pretty strong. Yeah, all right, so looks like we can use a piece that's about 8 1/8. Quarter would be just, a quarter would be good. We used 8 1/4, and then how much space we got? We got 2 inch both directions. Yeah, I think that's what I have. So grab that cut real quick, 8 1/4. All right, so there's what we're looking at right there. So a couple things could happen there. It could be too deep this way. I have to go and open that box and see how that thing works. And as long as, I think it just sits in these holes, and there's a rubber pad that goes here. I might take the cutoff wheel and just cut off a 1/2 inch right there. Yeah, well, let's see. Might cut a 1/2 inch off that. We'll see. All right, so what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to kind of center punch these rivets. And I'm going to drill just the heads off. And then we'll try and drive those rivets out. Try and knock those off. Yep. We'll try and knock that through. Okay. It needs to go a little bit more. want to drill all the way through it. I mean, the chances are this drill bit is only slightly bigger anyways. But chances are I don't want to mess it up. There he goes. Okay, so we get the head off, and then there goes the rivet. Now we look inside here, and we should be able to see the rivet and knock it out. Okay, so it's hard for me to see where you guys are at, so what I'll do is okay, and then we'll drill from the other side. Oops. I like it. All right. Now I'll go down a drill bit. I'll bring you back. All right, so we're going to okay. All right, so that pulled it all the way through. Did. I think I figured out what was wrong with my other dealy-do as well. Craziness. Okay. So now what we need to do is drill up through the bottom and put a bolt in there. And then beat this over and drill it through the bottom and put a bolt in there. In the meantime, we need to get this puppy Got to get one that ain't bent. Be right back. Okay, so we'll get a clamp on this so it can hold it tight while I'm doing my business, and that should take care of it. Let me see. Yeah, it's hard to say, but I think that'll more than handle it. Okay. And Alright, we'll get a bolt in there, and then we'll tap that over and drill it down. Oh boy. Okay. All right, so let's get a look here. I used my last 2 huck bolts, and I didn't put any primer under them. And then all that's gonna do is make the paint come off, and then we'll have to take that thing back off to fix it. So what we're gonna do is, we ordered the hucks. We're gonna wait till they come in on Monday, then we'll cut those hucks off, and we'll do it right. I can't believe I didn't even think about it. But rather than half-ass it, we're just gonna wait. And so something that we've needed to do, these headlights are almost $400 a side, and these are actually Trisha's headlights, but since Trisha is probably further away from being ready to run than Krystal here, I think we're gonna go ahead and install this headlight. Now this thing said right hand, and so we're gonna just hope that this is right. And we've got a connector so we can figure out which one goes to where, and shorten up the, I mean, that looks really good. I think I'm putting both new ones in here. So what we'll do is we'll just run through here real quick and throw in a couple of pop rivets. And if we decide after that we're going to take it off to paint this thing, we can just drill out those pop rivets and take the thing back out. I think pop rivets are going to be the best bet. I suppose I could use some stainless steel screws. Let me give that a gander real quick. All right, so we're just gonna see how well this will hold. It should be fine. And yeah, we don't have to put them all in. We just have to put enough in to give it a chance, you know what I mean? Maybe 3, you know? And then we'll see how that other side pans out. Okay. Well, I gotta admit, that's a fancy looking headlight. The bad part is it doesn't come with the screws to hold the bezel on. Now how horrible is that, right? Bezel is nice and screwy. That sucks a little bit, but all right, let me see if I can find some. Oh, there they are. All bad. Almost cussing the thing. I really didn't need to be. These are not stainless screws, so that's cool. So those will just rust, but it's all right. We expect for 400 bucks. But we'll get some. I probably even have some. Let me look. Well, it's crazy to think about, but these wires are the same colors. As a factory plug. Now, I'm under no false pretense that this is going to work. You know what I mean? I'm going to strip these back. I'm going to try and put a connector on here, and I'm going to marvel in what is light if it actually works. You know what I'm saying to you? So we'll do this side, and if it hooks up and lights these lights, we'll use the other one and do that as well. What I would like to do, I think I want to leave this truck looking like it does. I'd like to paint it, but I think I'm going to leave the exterior like it is, and just completely finish the you know what I'm trying to say, the mechanical aspect of it. Get the fifth wheel working in the air and all that, brakes, and get the heat and AC working, get all the lights working, and light this thing up, and just put the grill in it and call it finished, yeah? Anyways, I'm gonna try and figure out how this works. I think what happens is this goes up on in there, and but I don't 100% know. I've never done one before. I think this is this type of connector. I think I want to look and see how that fits in there. I think what I'll do is I'll start it on there the way I think it should go. And this is quite a thick piece of wire. And so I'm not really even sure how it's going to do it.
And then I think this goes this way. I don't think that did jack shit, really. You know, so there's that. But I think we're going to try it, and then if it doesn't work, we're going to cut them all off and use the connectors like I think we should use, you know. This white one is really, really thick compared to what it should be. Yeah, I don't think that's anything like what it's supposed to look like. But hey, you know, what's the worst that can happen? I try it, doesn't work, and then I redo it with my own connections. I think this is... All right, it's plugged in. That doesn't mean it's going to work. Well, we got one light on. Let's turn just this one on. Okay, it's not that one. Let's not turn that one on. There. All right. Let's turn that one on. Nice. That's so crazy. All right, so that headlight works in dim and bright. This one works in bright only. I think we'll just continue. We will continue. All right, so we're gonna try and get this headlight apart and get that other bucket in there. You know, looks like you get a couple standards. Right back. Hopefully find that connector right there. And ouch, man. She got a bite. Oh. Yeah, I don't know what that is. That's a mess, yo. Oh boy. And this is what you get right here. You asked for it, you got it. Toyota. You know what I mean? It is a 100% siliconed And you know, that's not I'm not complaining. You know, guy's got silicone, and you know, he got after it, and so I'm not complaining. Yeah. It probably did a really good job keeping the water out of it, and as long as it continues to peel off there pretty well, I'm not complaining at all. Looks like the connector is going to be right here. Gonna have to get after it with a pinch or two from these cuts. This is a completely different connector than the other side, so you know, why wouldn't it be? You know, it'd be super cool as if this was just if the left one had this harness on it, but I don't think they would do that. It would be too convenient. But the wires sure are in good shape because somebody siliconed it all together, and I'm not complaining at all right this minute. I think what'll happen is I'll get this stuff pulled all the way off, and I'll have nice clean wiring to work with. Looks like he or she had some repairs done right here and created that silicone sock to ensure a trouble-free connection. And here's the old one. And yep, we could send that to my buddy, and they could make those things, start selling them for $100 a piece. You know, for anybody who might want a K100, but who knows what that all entails. Okay, so this might not work very good because this is super thick, you know. And so I might have to cut the fuzz of this off. There we go. And we will plug this in. And we will turn on the lights. Let's see what we got. Okay. Light should just have the dims. Yep. And then we should go to bright. Yes, very nice. Okay. All right. We will tie that wiring up in a jiffy. I think before we rub that on, gotta wash that schmutz off there. brush right here and just get after some of that. All right. Now we'll stick this unit in there. Gain access to this rivet machine. Let's see about sticking some rivets in it. That don't fit through that hole. I don't think I like that. Not sure. I don't like that. Yeah, I don't like that at all. But I mean, it's down. I think that's all I'm gonna do for right now, since we're gonna take them back out when we paint this thing, if and we decide and we go and painting it. You know what I mean? Fuck, of course. Well, what do you guys think? Looks a lot better with headlights in it, don't it? I think I'm gonna put the grill in, and I think I'm gonna get up there and
What's
stand.
up, guys?
Man, nice day out today. It's not cold. It's not hot. It's not cloudy. It's not sunny. It's just normal. It was cold last night. When I say cold, I mean 50, not cold minus 10 or something like you. I don't know what to call you. Like you people who severe the cold or whatever you want to call it. I'm not that guy. But yeah, so today we are with the sun at our back, so you can't see me. But anyways, today we're working on Krystal, and there's Krystal right over there. Ain't she pretty? Sure is. And what we're doing is we had to, let's just go up there and just get a look. So you know we're working on the heater box, and we had to put some rivets in. Now rivets they got a smaller head, so it did kind of dimple the body just a little bit. Not super happy about that. Waited, you know, a week to get those. But you know, we got the floor. The floor is fixed. The broken part is fixed. It's all bolted up in there, so that's good. We've got these holes in the floor. Not sure what we're gonna do with those yet, but we're gonna go inside and we're gonna look at the heater box that Shoreline Truck Parts repaired for me. They were looking at possibly building them, but decided that they weren't really marketable. They invested a lot of time and money in the E model. You know, they build a nice box, a nice stainless box for the W900, and they build a nice stainless box for the E model K100. But the E model K100 just hasn't been popular. People haven't been wanting to spend the money on the new heater box, and so they didn't want to invest the time in producing these for the C model, since nobody's even inquired about one except for me. But anyways, what they did was they took my old unit, and I'll try and find some pictures of it so you can kind of see what they did. They took my old unit and they repaired it. So let me grab a knife and we'll get this box open and see where we're at. Now you might notice that the shop is getting a little emptier, and that's because we're knocking out things and tasks that we've been putting off. We're gonna do a live. You'll probably have already seen the live before you see this video, but we're gonna do a live here pretty soon, and we're gonna explain some things that have been going on here at the shop, and specifically with Truck X, which is over there in the shop all tore apart right now, and we'll have to well, you'll just have to watch the live. But okay, Tempestat, I don't know if that's what you call it or not, but that's what I'm going to call it. This thing weighs a ton. So basically what we were dealing with here was the bottom of Krystal's box was completely rotted out, and the inside of the box had some damage as well. So what we had them do is, when they were engineering or re-engineering this box, yep, we're gonna have to fix those holes, because this actually does bolt to the floor. So we will, that answers that question. I was wondering how this worked right here. And basically this goes down through the floor, and yep. So we'll have to weld up those holes a little bit. No big deal. And we'll have to get a rubber pad made for this as well. But this was all rusted out. This front was rusted through, the bottom was rusted out. The little flapper door inside the unit was rusted out, and so they fixed that. Also, they checked out my coils, and I'm not really sure. Those look like they got bent a little bit in shipping. Yep. Not good. We'll have to get a look at that, and then we'll have to pack some dum-dum in here. But this looks like it might have taken a little bit of a hit too. We'll just gently, very gently move those around. But yeah, so we'll get this lid open. We'll get a look at those. We'll have to put maybe some sealer in there. This I think is a fan control relay. We'll have to put in there, but for the most part, this looks like it's in pretty good shape. And I'd like to just get it in the truck and get it bolted up and connected, and then possibly plumb up some heater hoses and get the fan working. Of course, we won't be doing much with the, oh boy, we won't be doing much with the AC portion of it quite yet, because, well, just because, but we will. Yeah, it's got a little bit of a hit in shipping. Not horrible, but yeah, got new cylinders, and yeah, pretty cool. So we'll get this open, we'll get a look in there, and then we'll quit mumbling. All right, so somewhere in here, this is oh yeah, this is the old temperature probe. This is the old factory wiring harness that's all melded out. We'll have to do something different with that. This is weird. Oh, I see the problem with that. This is under and it should be over. Yep, and this should be under and it's over. So no big deal. Just a little bit of yeah. There you go. Yep, that's probably good. And then this can be bent back here a little bit. We'll have to be very gentle with that, but yeah, we'll move this back. This is an air line that just goes across and out this side. This wiring harness I'm not really for sure of. Yeah. Okay. All right. Okay. Okay, yep. Oops. Okay, good, yep. Okay. Damn it. Why would that not bite? You know what I'm saying to you? And it's going to roll down and cut through that thing. Okay, so I don't like that. Okay. All right. I'm satisfied with that. Now this is I'm not really sure. This is some sort of temp probe, and I know it goes in the coil, but I just don't know what it does. This is a ground, and what we're going to do with this is we're going to do a couple of different grounds. And this is a relay, a fan control relay. I'll bring you back. Yeah. Well, I don't know that I like it, but it's what I have, you know. Now we got to figure out what we're going to do exactly with the floor, because those holes have got to be pretty close to right. Okay. Now, gonna get up on the tire, move these wires a little bit. Well, let's give it a peek. So we sanded the front end and etching primered the new hawks. I don't really like those heads, but I got a little overspray on my new lights. Makes me mad. Whatever. Wipe it right off. And then here we are inside. We got the box installed. Now, I had to do a lot of this without you because I forgot to format my card. And well, that's just the nature of the beast right there. A couple things I don't like. This needs to get tapped on down and then a little sealant put in there. I'm not really sure. I'll have to wait till I fire it up to see. There may not be any airflow in there, but I believe there is. But anyhow, the box is in there. It's bolted to the floor. It's mated up with its sister unit over here. A couple of little spots. I don't like about it, but all in all, it looks pretty nice in there. Shoreline did a great job, and we got a basket case on the wiring over here. We got to get a heater resistor, wire in the fan, then we got to start poking and prodding. This is the old wiring. It's all melted out of there, so we'll make a new harness. This is the harness coming from the truck, so we'll find out what those are, and we'll make new connections for that, and we'll make sure we got plenty of ground, and then we'll run some heater hoses up here and get this thing hosed in. I don't know what this wiring harness right here is, and clean this mess up. Then there's a side panel that goes in. There's a side panel that goes in that covers up all that. We'll get all that done, re-insulate the floor, and yeah. But for now, what do you think, guys? Looks pretty good. We don't have to have these towels stuffed in the floorboard anymore. Looking nice. Oh, there's a cover. There's a knee pad that goes on there. We'll put that on as well. But I like it. Closer.